Okay. Well, welcome to the Bad Mom Podcast. I'm your host, Anastasia. Today I have a special guest on my show. We met at a Trump rally. So I wanted to get a complete stranger on my show who's a Trump supporter that you'll never believe. Um, so he's been following the Q movement for 2 years. He doesn't quite associate himself with the movement, but he follows it. And he has a lot to say. And also, he's going to give us a detailed experience of what happened at the Capitol. So, if we have a lot of different stories out on the internet, and I just want to say I do not condone any type of violence. I think peaceful protesting is what we should all be doing. And I think we should all be coming together and having conversations with complete strangers because we already have opinions of our friends who we stopped talking to over this last year of election year and all the madness that's been going on. We should not be fighting. We should be talking. So that's kind of not what they want us to do. So luckily, I have a podcast and we can talk about it all day. So, Will, welcome and tell me, I don't know, tell me what got you into it and maybe give a little background of where you're from or what you like to do, as much as you want or as little as you want.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me over. I appreciate it, being able to have a voice. It's weird actually being able to have an opinion somewhere else. But
That's awesome.
So I started. So for a lot of people, they have a hard time not, or a lot of people don't believe my story. I grew up in a same-sex parents household. They ended up splitting, and then one of them married a woman. So I have technically three moms and one dad, a stepdad, and then a sperm donor father somewhere in the world. All I know is he was a minor league baseball player. That's all I know about him.
That's awesome.
He I was always into politics, arguing, debating, being always very opinionated throughout my life. And I loved Obama, right? Naturally, being a kid growing up in New Jersey, especially the household that I grew up in. And then, of course, Democrats and being gay, or not me, but my parents being gay and being associated with the LGBT community all my life, being told you have to be Democrat, you have to be Democrat, you have to be Democrat, without any real free thought into it. But my biological mom, her side, very hard Republicans, right? Always despised Obama. I would always go Thanksgiving, being like, oh, I love Obama, not knowing what they're talking about, not knowing anything about anything other than Obama black, so I love him, yeah. Right? And my mom always told me to be open-minded. I was a big Hillary supporter, despised Trump, right? I wanted Hillary to win. I loved Hillary. And then, I love Bernie.
Yeah, everybody
loved Bernie. And what happened was I was driving in my car and I had a sudden moment of realization of, one, I wanted to reawaken myself spiritually, and two, I want to know what's going on, right? I want to know who's pulling the strings of pulling the strings. And that started sending me on my spiritual journey. Went to my shaman. Shaman sent me to one lady sent me to my channeler, Joni. And she basically broke the chains of my mind and started talking about all this crazy shit. And I was like, okay, took it at face value, started doing my own research, and now I'm a full-blown Trump supporter, and I haven't looked back.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for being open-minded to being interviewed. I know that you told me your social media was taken down. Do you want to tell me how you were canceled, Will?
Yeah, so I had an Instagram meme page called cursed_imaged, and what happened was I've always been very open about my views. Mm-hmm. Not afraid of, because it's my platform, my voice, my opinion. Yeah. Like whatever, right? My best friend, he had 1.2 million followers, and he basically was like, create a page and I'll help you grow. Very thankful, very blessed about that, and that's exactly what happened. He ended up getting deleted for some other reason, not political, I think. And when the riots started, right, I started going harder.
So he was also canceled?
He wasn't canceled. He just got his Instagram deleted because Instagram's a garbage platform.
Wow, that's
So,
horrible.
yeah,
No reason
no reason at
whatsoever.
all. He just got deleted. 1.2 million gone. And when the riots started, I really wanted to drill and not drill into people, but be like, yo, this battle we're seeing isn't black versus white, Democrat versus Republican, you know, rich versus poor. It's literally the tippy top people messing with everybody on the floor, because people realize our country will never fall from a foreign power, right? We're too strong military wise and people for us to be invaded. So what do they have to do? They have to infiltrate us,
Right.
right? An infiltration instead of an invasion. And what it's called, the term is called poison the water hole. Basically, over a long period of time, you subvert institutions against the American people, and you start using these high levels of authority to set people against each other. And then you watch the destruction take place, right?
Mm.
So when I started following Q in their posts, all they were preaching was unity, you know, love, peace, and being unified as one, not seeing people as the color, seeing people as, you know, Democrat or Republican, you know, rich or poor,
Mhm.
just seeing people as that's it, people, right?
Right.
And that's one of the messages that I love the most, because, you know, where we go one, we go all. I said this to you before.
Sure
It means no matter where we go as a people, whether it's the good road or the bad road, we're all heading there together. And we have to love each other and show the compassion that I know everybody has. But with all this hatred and all this negativity in this world in today's times, it's hard for people to have people see the compassion and see the love and be optimistic with all this negative energy in this world.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the way that people are triggered is a problem, because that leaves us not being able to have a conversation. And unfortunately, I can't figure out how to hide all that.
No, it's all good.
So, anyways, the whole thing is just a mess right now. And I think the only way we come out of it is if we accept each other for having different opinions and just be able to talk, like, but that's the thing, we are only able to do that with maybe strangers. If we're doing it with our family, I see how that can be easily toxic, because you already made an opinion and assumption and everything about that person. The way that families are being split up over this election, I just, that's the part that makes me sad. But really, having, you know, people who are Black Lives Matter supporters feel like the Trump supporters, for some reason, don't support the civil rights movement. I mean, if you know anything and did any research whatsoever on Trump and the racist thing, you would understand that whether you believe he's racist or not, that's irrelevant. He has, as a fact, done a lot for the Black communities, the low income households. We have opportunity zones. Look it up. Like, we're not about to start going into why we like Trump, but this is why there's a following of Black people for Trump. I mean,
Prison reform.
but what happens with the leftists? They attack them and call them Uncle Toms. That to me is the most repulsive thing you could do, to just bring that up like it means something. Like, and if we ever did any type of reading or research on American history, we would understand who freed the slaves. But people are too fucking stupid. They don't want to do any research. They don't want to enrich their minds. They're too busy working and basically being a slave. And they don't even realize it. But they come home, they work so hard, they put on the news, and they're like, oh, what a good day. I'm such a good American. I'm so free.
Capitals attack.
Complete morons.
Yeah.
When you get off the boat
Yeah.
in America, you're told this is a free country. What we don't understand is, yes, we're free limitedly. Like, we have limited freedoms. We just have a little bit more than other countries. But there's still people, corporations that run our world, and people like Donald Trump. he even said he thinks that generational wealth is genetic. I mean, and that's kind of an asshole thing to say. So, people who are rich don't want the common folk to be rich. They want to keep those secrets. And so I've been doing a lot of financial research and, learning HFX and that part, you know, they control the economy. They control everything. And then they control us, the consumer who's sitting here trading. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we need to look at things a little differently. We can't just paint someone to be an all bad person or an all good person. Donald Trump has done so much for Black colleges. He funded them. They literally were out of money. I don't know the specifics, but you could look it up, do your own research. There's many reasons why he has a following. So you were saying with the Q movement, why do you feel like it's been a positive movement overall? Although it did lead to violence at the Capitol, will talk about our experience at the Capitol. It was very confusing to just,
Anyway.
peaceful protesters. Let's just say that's what we call ourselves, peaceful protesters, observers, supporters of a former president. But if we don't have the conversation, we don't preserve our freedom of speech. We don't preserve our civil rights as people to express our opinions in this country. Slowly, if we don't accept each other, the point is we're not going to be able to even talk about it. So go ahead, Will, tell me why you think that the Q movement has made a positive change on, I don't know, our country.
So in the world as well, like I'll give you an example. Paris, when Paris, Hong Kong, and all these places that were having massive protests, right? Especially Paris a few years ago, if you remember, with the yellow vest movement, and them trying to basically tell Maroon or Macron, whatever his name is, back off, stop implementing all this tax onto us, right?
That was 3 years ago. I'm not familiar with that.
So basically, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was some type of gas tax that was like, it would basically shoot up like, a ridiculous amount that's like, this isn't necessary. And on top of it, you have the amount of people that don't like the fact that they were forced to take migrants, right? Which is why,
right. From Syria.
Yeah, from Syria and all that. So throughout the, these peaceful protests, you see people holding, Q. You see people saying, holding the "Where we go one, we go all" sign, and it's all across worldwide, everywhere across the world. People are waking up to it because they're realizing the battle and the reality that's been implemented onto us is one of a psychological and a spiritual warfare. Because people don't realize that, like, all the information we're seeing, every piece of media, everything has some type of subliminal messaging or something to lead you to either a radical ideology, believing something completely false, X, Y, or Z. And what Q has done for me personally, right? Or I shouldn't even say Q, but like whoever's posting, right? It doesn't matter who it is. Because we don't know who it is at the end of the day.
Right.
Right. All it's done for me is wake me up to realize that love, peace, and unity is really the only way forward for people. At the end of the day, like I said before, it doesn't matter your political ideology, doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your cultural stance or wherever you are on your economics wise, right? It doesn't matter, because wherever we go as a people, we're going together. Good or bad, we have to be unified.
So you're not a white supremacist?
No.
So you're not a radical right wing activist? No. Okay. So you're just a kid in New Jersey.
Yeah, basically, it was just an 18-year-old kid who was woken up, and then I'll tell you about this. I'll revisit the surreal moment for me of when I realized what was going on. When I realized that the battle we're in was real. Let me get it out really quickly so I can read it. Yeah. Right. So people, in May of 2018, whoever Q is, they posted to the boards this message. What is the common theme when bad news is about to break against them? Stay vigilant. And that basically is alluring to some type of false flag. And a false flag, if you don't know, is a created terror event in order to push a political, um, I don't want to say political ideology. I forgot the word to use. Like, for instance, every time you see a school shooting, what do you see afterwards? Oh, ban guns. It's for your safety. Ban guns. It's for your safety. 9/11. Oh, we need the Freedom Patriot Act. It's for your safety. It's for your safety. You see all these things take place. And on May 18th, no, sorry, they posted that on May 17th. On May 18th, the very next day when I was sitting in English class, I specifically remember sitting alone at a computer while everybody was at their desks. A kid, my friend Marco in the back, was like, "Oh, there was another school shooting.
Oh my
7
God.
people are dead." And I was sitting there at the computer while everybody was like, "Oh, of course another school shooting happened, blah blah blah." And I'm sitting there at the computer like, "Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just told this something big bad was about to happen and it did." And that bugged me out, and then that's when I realized the world that I've been living in was a lie. Everything was a complete and utter lie, and then my perception and everything started to change.
Okay. Well, I'm not really, I research things to a certain degree, but I have to stop myself at times because, sometimes I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And, and that's how I think people stay safe in their little box and they don't ask questions because, well, that requires changing everything I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
That requires having a paradigm shift in your mind and being able to process that, shatter everything. People are not
People are not
strong.
ready for it.
They need their little safe spaces.
Mhm.
They need their pets. Um, you know what? And that's fine and dandy. I'm not judging anyone for being soft, but the thing is, that is why we're being well, I don't want to call it infiltrated, but we kind of are fighting amongst each other, neighbors and friends, and that's why I care so much. I really want peace and unity. So if we can't get along, what are we going to do? We're going to have a civil war. We don't want a civil war. We don't want to do that. I mean, I think we've dealt with enough in 2020. So what we need to do is just come together. But I think I lost my train of thought on that. People haven't oh yeah, people have not really suffered, here.
Strong times create weak men create hard
Exactly.
times create strong men.
Like,
Yeah.
my mom and dad came here from a communist country that the entire economy collapsed. They had no jobs, no food. They were rationed out food. The government failed them. Uh, and that's why I'm here. So, like, that's why I care. I want people to understand that there's a reason why we're pushing God out of, you know, the Pledge of
Yeah.
Allegiance, and we want to focus on how that's bad, but at the same time we're never able to focus on the positives of that. And I believe that, you were saying about your religion, like, you don't have one. You understand how it divides people and controls people. I agree with that. I think that as long as we believe in ourselves and like who we are and just kind of embrace that and not try and hide it, because that's weakness. Pretending to be someone you're not is a weakness. um just expressing yourself, that is literally how you grow.
Yeah.
And I think you realize that in your shamanic journey, right?
Yeah. So one thing I've learned as well, and this is my own philosophy on religion, is most of the basic religions, like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all the basic
Yeah.
religions, right? When you boil them down, there's two rules. Two rules. Don't be a dick and spread love and peace.
Yeah.
And you get into whatever heaven you believe in,
Yeah.
right? And realizing that at a young age, and especially in my spiritual growth, all I do is I just be nice to people. As long as you're not a dick, I know that life will take care of me then.
Yeah.
Because karma will catch up to you at one point or another, whether it be this life or the next. It's still gonna, karma's a bitch and it'll catch up to you.
Yeah. And the energy you bring, like, we just see it. We see it around us. And like, we don't see it per se, but we see it from like interactions.
Yeah.
a lot of triggered Trump supporters storming the Capitol, I could see going south. A lot of people just peace, love, and unity, confused like you and me, like the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? you know, that's how we have, people bring bad vibes to a rally and violence happens, but it's a risk you gotta take. So
And also the fear of the rally being hijacked by other powers
yeah,
as well. There's been 3 arrests so far of radical leftists who were in front storming the Capitol.
like beating the glass out of the windows.
You know the guy who stole the podium?
Oh
He's
yeah,
not a registered Trump supporter. He
yeah.
actually hasn't voted.
Yeah.
I have a video that I could send you.
I
It's on my
saw
page,
that guy, and like, who the hell is picking up a podium?
Dude,
Like, what an asshole!
Yeah, man.
Don't support any of these people. And you know what the thing is? I think we should just go to the rally experience and just start at the beginning, kind of like how it went and how it went there. Like, how did it go from this to that?
Really
and
quick?
how did it go from me literally crying the whole way home, like we're so screwed? Like, because I'd never expected that violence to occur.
No, nobody
as somebody who's coming there as a peaceful protester.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's exactly how Black Lives Matter got hijacked too.
Oh yeah, I mean, totally. They've been hijacked by commies and far left radicals the entire time, and they just used BLM as a guise to get, the bigger picture of what they want.
So today's a day after inauguration. What did you say happened in Portland?
So,
since I don't really read the news or follow the news much anymore, I'm just trying to live my life.
Antifa kind of attacked the DNC headquarters in Portland, destroying windows, putting their little anarchy A on there, dressed up in all black. They had their little black umbrellas, their live action role playing, being revolutionaries. And then they had the bright idea of going to a federal building.
That's not covered on any major news network, right? Okay.
Nope. And that's the best part is, like, I always show people during Portland. Remember the media talking about Portland? Oh, people are just being arrested for no reason in Portland.
Right.
I have videos of people shooting fireworks at the federal building, asking for these federal officers to come out, essentially. And then the media will only show the federal officers doing what they're doing to try to disperse the crowd and arresting people, because the media has the narrative. The media controls the bullhorn.
Yeah, and it's mostly peaceful, and like a whole church burning in the background or something, or gas station, and even a car dealership that said BLM on it. Like, oh my God, I really hope our Black community is waking up, because honestly, we wouldn't be here talking about it. We wouldn't, because we wouldn't care. We'd be white supremacists, right? And I've been called so many hateful names, and it's just so funny because, like, I told you the book, The 4 Agreements, I don't take anything personal. I'm impeccable with my word. I don't make assumptions, and I do my best. And I suggest everyone read that book, because that is literally peace in a book, like how to do it. How to get along with your neighbor, and how to just live a prosperous life and not being affected with negativity. And like, it's really going to be your downfall. Like, if you're going to be a grouchy old lady by 90, upset with your entire life, like, it's all on you, bro. It's all on you and the way you live. So I'm so glad that you kind of grew up kind of fast, huh? The internet.
Yeah, I still have a lot to learn.
I know, right? Every time you learn something, you're like, oh my God, I gotta learn more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely thankful that I'm aware of the political side of life and the spiritual side of life at a young age. I just gotta learn how to live in this the 3D world now.
I know, right? How do you mold into society?
Yeah, that's all that's the one thing I have to do now when you get through school. But
okay, what are you going to school for?
So I was going for school, surprise, surprise, political science.
Oh wow.
And so I was going to SUNY Potsdam, and then Corona hit, and I didn't want to pay out of state tuition for online classes.
That's retarded.
Right? So yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I used to do that.
So then I transferred out to Warren Community, which is near my house, but it's still online classes, but I'm home still doing what I'm doing. So
right.
I'm just trying to get through.
Good. No.
School. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm not a fan of school. A lot of propaganda, a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of leftist ideologies that people
Right.
can't
I,
see or
that's funny you
understand.
say that because when I was studying to be an environmental scientist, I was like, why are they pushing anti-Russia things? Like, and I didn't even understand what racism was until I came here. And I'm telling
I
you,
believe it.
Russia, Kazakhstan, that's a melting pot.
I believe
I'm a minority there.
it.
White people are a minority there. So when you're surrounded by Asian, Korean, Uzbek, like those are the main people of, you don't really care. You're just a kid. Like everybody's great. Here, I was literally bullied for being white by black people
Mhm.
in school. First grade, didn't speak any English, just bullied for my skin color. And I couldn't even defend myself. I just knew what these kids were saying was bad and negative. Like they wanted to beat me up. And I was just like, let's play. But yeah, so I didn't really learn that until I came here. And I think that, I think you'd agree with me, hate is taught.
Hate is definitely taught. I think we're a people that love unconditionally, but through all this media and everything, violent video games, violent movies, all this,
Stimulation.
yeah, all this stuff. What it does to our minds is it manipulates us into being hateful people under the guise of love, not
Right.
realizing. And that's how. And the best part is for me, I was one of those people where I would be like, oh, I love everybody. I was a part of the Gay Straight Alliance Club in school. Like, oh, I loved everybody, blah, blah, blah. But if you were a Republican, go fuck yourself, right?
Right.
Right. It was one of those things where it's just like, I was like, wait,
How can you
how can
be
yeah,
so
how can I say that I'm loving, but then
right? How
do
how am I
that?
supporting a a political party that goes under the guise of tolerance, completely intolerating other people? Like, but anyways, I know that I kind of don't associate with any political party. I think I'm more of like a libertarian, if anything. Just an American, really. I don't really want to be a part of any of these groups. I don't want to be associated with Q. I don't want to be associated with Black Lives Matter, Antifa. I mean, literally, these are all hijacked movements. Like every movement and has a potential to be hijacked too by corrupt politicians, by like anybody, whoever has the money. And that's been how I kind of figure things out. I just follow the money, like literally.
Follow the
And
money.
everybody wants to be in control and power and make money. Um, you got to figure it out. And anybody who's an American has the potential to be a millionaire through hard work and effort. And that is why I also care, because as a first generation American, like I'm still on that freedom and make America great, like make myself great in America, like all of it. And that's what people don't understand. Like Trump supporters are just lots of different people, and there's no way to categorize them. You can't call them right-wing activists or white supremacists. Like, go fuck yourself if you think that. Like, honestly, go fuck yourself if that's your opinion. People in this country have the right to to express their political views if they want to and not be attacked. Like, it where are we going if we keep this up? Like, I don't care if you voted for Biden. I don't care if you voted for Trump. I don't care. I wasn't even a fan of Joe Jorgensen. I think they all suck. Like at this point, I'm pissed off, and I think we've all been played. We've all been played to think that we're free. We've all been played to think that nobody's pulling the strings. It's Trump's gonna win. Like, bro, he did win, and there's so much proof, and he didn't overturn that whole thing. And dead people voted. There's proof.
And
There's suitcases
mailboxes
coming
voted as
out.
well.
There's
Yeah.
fucking videos. Like, you cannot be this dumb to think that Biden actually won when Obama
Got less votes.
got less votes, and Obama was fucking popular. I even liked Obama. I was in the National Guard when he got elected, and everybody was fucking clapping and yelling. Like, I don't even remember anything but Obama just being like celebrity dude, and then
celebrity guy. Exactly.
Celebrity guy,
Yeah.
and like he can't even salute the Air Force One pilot while walking past him. I mean, you know, the amount of wars that man created during his 8-year
He's the only president
presidency
who's been at war for all 8 years of his tenure.
and got a Nobel Peace Prize. Insane, right? How that works. Right. So let's just keep pushing war, more taxes, but call it the guise of free
Big
health
war.
care, free college. And this is what people don't understand, because like in communist society, like they did have free college. They did have free I mean, I was in gymnastics. I was in so many different things. Like my mom went skiing. Everybody did everything, and it was free. And it was like they all went to summer camp together, and then basically Zig Heil, but like not really. And where did it all come from? And nobody wants to go to the root source of why the Soviet Union collapsed. Well, I want to make a big point here through all my research on Karl Marx. I really feel like the Bolsheviks who took down the Tsar, and Lenin emerged, like that was all from one man's ideas for hateful ideology, pushing God out of society, whatever you want to do. But it was like a mission of hatred. If you even read Karl Marx's poetry, it's disturbing. And nobody wants to acknowledge it, that are like these leftist college people, like they leave that out of the class because, oh, it's just poetry.
And all the Che Guevara stuff.
7 years later he wrote the manifesto, like, and then inspired Lenin, and like that happened. I mean, how many people died under Lenin and Stalin, like all that. I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but what I saw as a kid was my parents graduating higher education, not being able to get jobs, not being able to feed me without the government, and also just relying on my grandparents. So I know I'm in this country because communism failed over there. And people really believed in their country. And my parents will never say anything negative about the Soviet Union. No, they won't, because they understand. They understand that people are played. I mean, they all vote. They said to me, they voted to keep it together. So, and then it fell apart. It's just super shocking. And like the amount of pride they have as from their heritage, that's what keeps them like in this mindset of being, but they understand that we're in America, right? But ever since I came here, my father was always like laughing every time I'd say it's a free country. And he'd just laugh. And I would be like, what are you talking about? Freedom of speech, Dad. Yeah. Haha. Like, and I couldn't understand that as a kid because I'm still like, this is America. This is we the people. This is our country, you know? So I'm just glad that you're able to talk and have a voice still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you were canceled on social media, we'll help you grow your account.
Yeah. Or sue Instagram, man. That's the goal. Because you know what the best part is when I plan on suing Instagram, I'm gonna see if I can get my network of my friends, probably over 2 million followers altogether, like who have all these big accounts. I'll be like, yo, like I'm gonna sue Instagram.
You want to come in with me? Yeah.
Support it and publicly shout it out. I mean, yeah, that might get your account terminated, but if they do, come join me then. Like, then we take down Instagram. But so I wanna get back to what you were talking about with the election,
right?
And you feel screwed.
It feels screwed, right. Yes. And I also want to definitely get into the Capitol and the experience. So if you want to start there and go there, I won't interrupt.
The Capitol or the election?
The election.
So the election, a lot of people. What I think. So I have obviously this is all, oh God, what is it called again when you ponder on stuff?
Yeah, you kind of digest.
Yeah, so basically
all this information.
What I'm trying to get at is what I think happened was it was a giant bait. Right. A lot of people are saying no, that's not, no. It wasn't a bait, like, it's not a sting operation, blah blah blah, right? And I'm gonna argue for why I think it is, right? I think Trump allowed Biden to steal the election to then expose what voter fraud is, and then
Oh.
exposed all the rhinos who then came out against him after they were just elected during the impeachment process. Because you had those 10 Republicans who voted to impeach him.
Yes.
They got exposed because of the false flag at the Capitol. And then I think that Biden is getting, I think the deep state and all the powers that be just got super baited into taking the presidency. Because as I was talking before, during the McCarthy era, as a way of a last line of defense against a infiltrated government, is if the military has proof that the sitting president knowingly committed fraud or took bribes or is bought out,
Mm-hmm.
right, by foreign countries, and he takes power, right, everything is nullified. He's an illegitimate president. I mean, I'll give you a little example of it. Biden flew in a private jet, a private helicopter. You knew that, right?
To the
Yeah,
inauguration.
that's the first time in history for a president elect to be flown in on a private helicopter. Why wasn't the government, assigned helicopter? It's all a little suspicious. Obviously, this is all circumstantial evidence, and in the McCarthy era, military code is 11.3, and obviously, I don't know what's going to happen next. Nobody knows what's going to happen next.
So
I have
you
no idea.
believe there's like codes and stuff?
I think it was a giant bait to expose, because one of the philosophies that Q's always talked about is dark to light,
Mhm.
right? And your good example is when you were talking about people are too afraid to get their worldview challenged, right? And the thing with Q is it forcefully makes you challenge your worldview into
Mm.
exposing into the darkness of the world, right? How many kids went missing in 2019, according to the FBI?
Oh my God, so many.
400,000.
400,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
400,000, right? That forces people to think in this dark way, because then it helps show what the light really is. That's why when you know what true love and unity, feels like, you hold on to it because you know right from wrong. But if you don't challenge your worldview and you don't put yourself into darkness,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to know what darkness is, and you could be supporting it without even
Understanding.
realizing it. Yeah. So to get back with the election, I think the election was stolen on purpose. I think that Trump is setting up a giant bait, right? And optics wise as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Trump came in with the military arresting everybody, right?
Yeah.
What do you think would happen with the media? The media would be like, oh, Trump's launching attack against people who disagree with him. Oh, it's a civil war, blah, blah, blah. Trump has stepped down. He's given his farewell address, which means he is not the president anymore, right?
Mhm.
He's completely stepped away.
Mhm.
If the military comes in with this 11.3,
Mhm.
optics is the military is in control, not Trump, but the military. And then the military could hold a civilian vote again, and it'd be run through the military. And then that's how you know the election will be safe.
Mhm.
And then optics is Trump didn't do anything with it. Optics is the military took over, not Trump.
Interesting.
But obviously, it's speculation, all circumstantial evidence, all everything with that.
Definitely a conspiracy theory.
No, yeah, exactly. Right? It's one of those things where it's just like,
I hate that word so much.
Yeah, that was created by the FBI during the 60s to anybody who questioned the JFK shooting.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting for the government to officially tell us there's aliens.
Didn't
they tried, but they're not really talking about it. It's like a huge thing, and it's all over,
Didn't Jerusalem talk about it? They confirmed it, right? They said that they weren't. Didn't somebody in the Israel government come out and say that aliens are real, but they're not coming out to show us because humanity's not ready?
Yeah.
And that's the damn
that
truth.
Was the Israeli government.
That's the damn truth. We are not people. First of all,
shatter how many realities in 1 year?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the best part. Right. If you want to get into my spiritual, things and shaman journeys, I've gotten to that 5D level in my meditations to where I've been in contact with ETs spiritually. Yeah. All this craziness. And by the way, this is not off of drugs. I was completely 100% sober during all my meditations. I don't like hallucinogens. I actually think drugs are horrible for you both physically and spiritually, but yet I love weed. not gonna deny that. I love
Yeah.
weed. I'm definitely.
And that's how the Democrats get you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Because
like,
there's no negative side effects
Yeah.
from being a pot smoker,
yeah,
right?
no,
We're not
no.
going to talk about that.
No, but like, so during these spiritual journeys, I'm sober, and I basically just kept going deeper and deeper
Good.
and deeper, and then all I remember is this. I had this feeling when I was in my meditation that somebody came to me, and it's
Wow.
not like I've had entities, like people who I've known who've died have come to me and said hi, right? And when
Wow. In your meditation,
yeah, my meditations, and I felt
Whoa.
it, and I understand what that feeling was. This was a completely different feeling. This was a, what am I feeling? It's not bad. Wasn't it was just different,
Mhm.
right? And I'm sitting there and like in my head, and this being appears, and it's this pale, pasty blue, or bleached blonde hair, blue eyes, super pale woman appears, and I'm like, "What's your name?" She said Elise, and then I was like, "Are you a friend or
Whoa.
a guide?" And she said both, and then reached her hand out. And the second I grabbed her hand in my meditation, everything went dark, right? And then it was a big boom, and I literally saw the universe be born right in front of me.
My couch just went when you said boom. Crazy.
Yeah, and
Did you bring any spirits with you tonight?
Probably, man. In all honesty, and
You're so interesting.
yeah, I saw the boom of the universe, and after that happened, my roommate from college knocked at the door, and I woke up from it. Hell of a timing, right?
That's weird.
But then, anyway, let's get to the Capitol. That day
Right.
started off like this for me: 5 in the morning, no, 5:45, waking up, brushing my teeth, getting out of the house by 6 a.m. We arrived in DC by 8:30, and already by that time there was a huge crowd of people already there.
That's about the time I got
right.
there.
And it was me and my friend John, and we met a few people that were from California, actually, which was pretty funny. And we were talking, and they were like, "Oh, can we walk with you?" And we are like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, you could." Like, and when we got there, it was like sardines. So then we headed out to the outskirts because I didn't want to be packed in with everybody. So there were so many people having panic attacks and claustrophobic feelings. So when we got around the outskirts, by the end of the speech, because like when Trump's about like wrapping up his speech, like you could just like hear it. Like, he gets a little.
People are getting excited.
He's more scripted when he's about to finish up, and you could hear that. So we were walking, and when we were walking to Freedom Plaza, I told you about the homeless guy that had a megaphone set up so people could hear, and people were giving him tips and whatever. And after that, I'm pretty sure I walked by my favorite journalist too, which was upsetting because I was looking for him, but he had gear on and I didn't know what he looked like. And then afterwards, when I was checking my Instagram, I saw what he looked like, and I was like, I walked by him. So upset about that. Your
favorite journalist is crazy. I don't have a favorite journalist.
Yeah. Then when we got to Freedom Plaza,
are you saying he's a real journalist?
Yeah,
they still exist.
I know, it's weird.
Oh my
Independent journalist, man.
Wow.
He so when we got to Freedom Plaza, Alex Jones was there with his cronies, right? A bunch of the InfoWars people. I'm not a fan of InfoWars that much. I respect what they do.
I respect what they do. They got their freedom of speech.
Exactly.
I don't watch them.
Yeah, I don't listen to it. I don't.
I've heard a couple videos and stuff, and it's like, great, do your thing, man.
He then, he was giving a little speech, and then he got people pumped up, and he was like, "The Capitol's only 15-minute walk. Let's start marching." And then everybody, we literally marched with Alex Jones.
That's insane.
He was probably about like 15 feet to the left of me,
wow,
right where we were walking, and we headed to the Capitol. By the time we got to the Capitol, the gate was already broken down and people were on the lawn, right?
Okay.
And what was funny about it is when we were walking there was this dude that was walking by us, and he was like, "Yeah, we got the police to get pushed back. We're getting onto the lawn." And I remember thinking like,
interesting. Why?
Like why? But at that time, like I'm like so in the moment.
Yeah, right? And you're so just following people in front of you.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, like this is lit. We're literally walking, we're marching to the Capitol.
That's
like,
cool.
That's so like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to be a part of history, and I get to look back and be like, yeah,
this is cool. I was there.
Exactly. Yeah. And when we got to the Capitol, right, we were
which was always the plan anyway, to march.
Yeah.
People don't understand that.
Yeah, no, it was
Trump didn't tell us to start marching to the Capitol.
Anyway
that was the plan from the beginning. To march there. Have you heard of it? Yeah. Peaceful protesting.
March to Save America. That's what it was called. And freaking what happened was when we got to the grass,
Mhm.
right? I'm taking in the moment because there's tens of thousands of people there.
And
right?
did we march next?
No,
No. That
We
wasn't
were
the-
split up at this point.
Okay.
And do you know the black state representative from Georgia who became a mega
Yes.
Trump supporter?
Yes.
He ended up literally like I'm standing there with my friend. He's walking towards me because he was on the front lines and he apparently got tear gas and he was walking away. So I shook his hand. I was like, "Yo, thank you so much for everything." And
That's
that was
insane.
cool, right? And what happened was I have a photo of him. I'll show it
Yeah,
to you.
people don't realize like politicians were there. Like
yeah, a lot of people. A lot of
like,
people were there.
Ricky Rebel.
Oh, Ricky Rebel was there?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get to see him. But
He posted a lot.
so I
about
took this
this.
photo,
Yeah,
right?
I saw this.
right? And about 10 seconds later after
Here,
I
let
took
me
this
show it.
after I took this photo, the 10 seconds after I took that photo, a tear gas canister got shot above our heads, about probably 5 feet, probably 10 feet behind them, right? And I get hit with a little bit of tear gas, right? Both me and my friend do. And that my heart starts pumping, the adrenaline starts kicking in, and I'm like, yo,
Why is this happening?
I'm peacefully protesting and I got tear gassed. Are you kidding me?
I don't understand.
Like what the hell? So I was like, fuck this. I'm pushing to the front. And that's exactly what I did. Me and my friend John, we pushed through people. I was like, oh, excuse us, we're trying to get to the front. Because not everybody there was trying to get to the front.
Mhm.
There's a big wave of people that were just there just to, watch and whatever. And you had a guy that was on top of a thing being like, push forward. We need if people leave, fill it with more people, blah blah blah. And
I remember this dude.
and
You
like-
were in the front, right?
yeah, man.
Okay.
I was feeling it. I'm not gonna lie. When I talk about like my feelings when I was there, I was with it. I was really, 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 really with it. I was so down. If I found out after we left that they ended up storming it, Nancy got arrested, all these people got citizens arrested, I would have been like, yes, I would have been so for it. But then after we marched to the front lines, I'm with my boy John, and we're on there's a wall that you had to hop over. It was
Right.
probably like 4 foot,
Yep.
4
I
foot
could
wall,
barely
something like
get
that,
over that wall.
right?
Unless I had a dog.
Yeah, and people were helping each other up
Yeah.
too, which was really funny. They were like,
Couldn't go around.
yeah, they were like, oh, here you
huge.
go. And I was like, okay, cool. And they pulled me up, and then we were at the base of the stairs,
Mhm.
and a tear gas canister gets shot about 20 feet to the left of me. And I remember thinking like, they missed. And then a wind gust comes out of
Oh,
nowhere
no.
to blow all that tear gas directly into where we were standing.
Damn.
And I had my mask on because I was like, oh, like maybe this will like kind of help it. No, it did.
No,
the
it didn't help at
opposite.
all.
It did the complete opposite
It
effect.
kind of suffocated you
Yeah.
in the freaking gas.
Yeah, it was the complete opposite effect. And what happened was,
I hope you didn't rub your eyes.
I definitely think I did, but
Oh.
I think it was like heated in the moment because I was just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
Next
Like,
time, if you do go,
yeah.
I think we're good for a
Yeah,
while. That
yeah.
was retarded.
Yeah, it
But
kind of was.
continue.
After that, me and my friend John. Oh no! So before that,
Yeah.
we were talking to this black girl next to me who had a MAGA cap on. She was we were all so confident. We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna get up there. Like, oh yeah.
Just get up there,
Like,
not storm
yeah,
the
yeah,
Capitol.
exactly. We're
No
like-
one ever said that.
Yeah, no, nobody said that. No.
That was put into the media as what happened.
Mhm. And what happened was we were all so confident, and then when we got hit, I went blind for a few seconds, right? Because and for people who don't know what tear gas feels like, imagine eating something super spicy and then trying to take a breath in, but it's so spicy that you just start coughing
Oh my god.
because of how spicy it is,
Yeah.
right? And you just start having that suffocating feeling. That's how it felt like for 30 seconds, and then it was over. Then it was done.
That's it?
Yeah. And then after 30 seconds of suffering, and I still had it in my eyebrows still, like I could feel like the spiciness like in my eyebrows.
Mhm.
And the next time I saw this girl, you could clearly tell she had makeup on because it was all like everywhere running down her face. And I told her, I was like, hey, enjoy the moment and take it in for what it is and have a good day. And she was like, you too. And then I hopped over the wall and we left DC.
That was retarded.
And dude, that moment though, it felt so right.
So you wanted to leave right away?
After I got hit, or after we both got hit, we were like, yeah, like let's get out of here. And then not even an hour later after we left DC, we were in the Chick-fil-A parking or drive-through. I get a message from one of my best friends, He
You
was
got
like,
service in Chick-fil-A?
yeah.
Finally. Is that in DC?
No, it was
Oh, okay.
directly outside of
Oh,
DC.
okay.
And what
Because there was
happened
no
was,
service
yeah, no,
anywhere.
no. What happened was my boy messaged me saying Antifa was spotted on the front lines of the Capitol.
Yep.
And then my mind clicked and it all made sense. And I was like, oh my God, John, we were just a part of a false flag.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what took place. And now we know for a fact the Antifa and far leftists were in the front lines. A few of them got arrested, but guess what? A few of the charges were dropped.
Right. And okay, so
equal justice, eh?
So let me tell my little experience from the rally. I go to these things because I want to hear why people support him. And I used to not like Trump.
Yeah.
Because I was a student, environmental science, infiltrated by almost Antifa. And I'll tell you, because the Sunrise Movement, if you've ever heard of it, it's in colleges. It's basically a hijack movement for green energy under the guise of green energy. So that's kind of what they're using. And if you listen to, Bill Gates and talk about, they talk about green energy. They talk about the environment. They talk about all these things, pandemics and stuff like that. I'm not saying, we shouldn't, I'm saying we should just keep asking questions and, so I'm not stating my opinion. I'm just saying, just look into it. The point is, I realized that when you start a meeting, a Zoom, this has happened in Corona. So I was still in college and I go into this meeting with a bunch of kids, I'm thinking from college, doing a college extracurricular activity, and they start playing AOC green energy cartoon. And I'm just like, the fuck is this bullshit? And I'm the only one. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I didn't realize that everybody there was not understanding like that. I think I felt like I was being hijacked at the time. Like, how could you use my love for the environment and this planet and everything on it to to shift my political views? I can't believe you. And I don't agree with everything with the politics of Trump. A lot of the things with the environment, you're not going to find somebody you like 100%, but I also don't like it when people deliberately lie to me and say they have the Green New Deal. Like, when you study this stuff and you understand that we're nowhere near green energy taking over, like, you understand that you're fucking being targeted. You're targeted because you're now a hippie who doesn't use paper towels. Well, guess what, bud? You are following in the footsteps of being brainwashed. I mean, and that's what's wrong with the college kids these days. They come out brainwashed and just unable to understand other ways of thinking. They're who is Antifa? Who is BLM? Who are all these active people? They are people who are in college or just graduated college. That's who they are because they fell for it.
They've been radicalized.
They've been radicalized and they don't understand. And that's why I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I want them to challenge me. You want to come on my podcast and you want to talk about something that I don't necessarily believe in? I'm all about it. All about it. I don't necessarily agree with everything you say, but it's your interview, your voice, and I want you to be heard. And of course you're going to have negativity. Of course that's to be expected. People don't understand that's what makes America great. Like, being able to discuss it, not labeling people white supremacists because you don't agree with them. Like, how about, hey, I see what you're saying there. That's causing me to think about this before I speak about something I know nothing about. So now I'm reading more books and I'm like, this is why people are stupid, because they don't want to read books. They'd rather pull up somebody's opinion and be like, oh, that's what I believe. And there's so many influencers out there that are just jumping on this. Like, I don't know how you feel about Lynn Wood, but
oh, what a guy.
He's a fucking loony, right?
I love him.
You love him.
I think he's so funny, but like that's again where it's just like
But didn't he post like something
He
that was
talked
fake?
he talked about
The Pope and stuff.
yeah, he talked about the Pope being arrested for counts of
Yeah.
child trafficking and shit like that. But then that's where that's where I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate, and you gotta think like how
Mm.
many people around the Pope have been in trouble because of it.
Right.
It's all I don't know. I think it's kind
Right.
of leading into it. That was
Goes back
fake.
to the Catholic
Yeah,
Church
goes back.
issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So there is some truth to it. I don't obviously that was fake, and I don't believe in it, but there's still some truth in it. And he posted I like his tweets because obviously like I'm definitely far outgoing when it comes to the shit that I like to think about, but
Yeah.
it's just like there comes to a point when people have to learn between fact and theory.
Yes.
A lot of people have a hard especially me, I had a hard time when I was first woken up and I was showing all this crazy shit, like, adrenochrome, all, the child sex trafficking, all this human sacrifice, all this disturbing dark shit, right? Obviously, like, do I think it's real? Probably, just because our world's extremely dark, right? And what happens to 400,000 kids, like where do they go?
Yeah,
Right?
nobody's
Nobody talks
really
about it.
talking
Exactly.
about
Yeah.
that.
And
It's been in the news a lot
Mhm.
though, but
because we know for a
but
fact there's
we'd rather talk
yeah.
about coronavirus,
Exactly.
than push. Look, we're finding all these kids. This is awesome.
And a lot of people, I'll go back to me, like I had a hard time talking to people and being able to articulate my thoughts for a really long time because when I'm showing all this new information, it's like, and especially it's something that's so groundbreaking and shattering to what I believed in all of my life, to be now shown that I was lied to.
Right.
Now it's like, whoa, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Like I told you before in the Hillary Clinton emails, right? Like one of the
Yeah.
emails that she talked about was sacrificing a chicken to Moloch. Then you go like, okay, who's Moloch? Then you realize Moloch is the pagan god of child sacrifice. And then you're like, why the hell are you talking about this in your private emails, Hillary?
Weird.
Right? It's weird. But then people, that's where Pizzagate and all this other stuff came from, because in these emails, there was a lot of pizza talk. Obama had a $30,000 hot dog party from Chicago be flown in.
What
right? That's one of the emails. It's like, yeah, okay, Obama, like what's really going on here? But then the media,
weird.
you had, who's the Cuomo on CNN? Andrew or Chris? Chris Cuomo on CNN literally said, don't look at these emails. They're illegal. They're terrified of what's on there because it destroys.
Oh, they actually talk about it?
They literally said, don't look at them, because they're trying to control the way people think, because they realize.
Don't look at them. Yeah. Oh, definitely look at them if you haven't looked at them.
You got it.
I looked at one or two and I was like, okay, I have to go make dinner. I can't do this.
Like,
I don't want to know.
So like, again, like that's one of the things that got me censored as well, is because I pointed this out. And then when you look at Moloch, you realize Moloch is, has an owl, and Moloch, and a cockatoo as symbolisms, right? Both of those were on top of the Jeffrey Epstein temple, right? And golden statues. And it's fucking weird, because when you start going down this path of like,
are you talking about the house with the stripes on it?
Yeah. On top of it had a cockatoo and both a cockatoo and a owl on top, right? And both of those are symbolisms for fucked up shit. And it's like when people don't want to even think about it. Like, you want to hear a crazy fact really quickly? Do you like America's Got Talent?
Yeah, I don't really watch television.
Heidi Klum.
Yes.
She was named in court deposition of being a part of the Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell human sex trafficking court case that was released over the summer. Right? Official documents. Yeah, official documents from the court case were shown with Virginia Giuffre, right? Naming Al Gore, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrews, Heidi Klum, Naomi Campbell, and a bunch of other powerful people being in the circle of sex trafficking. And that's not my opinion. That's from an official court document where any of these people could sue her for slander and for
sue Virginia Roberts.
Yeah, but they don't. Why? Because it's real. And like that's the thing people like get shooked up about the most, when especially
how is she not dead?
Exactly. That and like all the pedophilia shit. That's what really got me driven with the waking people up, because it's like 400,000 kids went missing. But yet we're talking about coronavirus. It's just 400,000
All you gotta
dead.
do is listen to a sex trafficking victim. There's some that are really speaking out. Have you heard of the one woman? She's African American. She like made a whole video No, I'll send it to you. But she's on YouTube. She's on YouTube accusing Biden, accusing Oprah, accusing
Oh yeah,
all of these people.
Biden was accused of rape. It's Mrs. Reed, right? People forget about that. But then for Kavanaugh, it was like the end of the world. But for Joe Biden, it's like see no evil because the
Yeah,
media
and
doesn't talk
Brett
about it.
Kavanaugh went through some hell, and like it something that happened 36 years ago.
That never happened.
That
And
never
have no
happened.
witnesses and no collaborating.
Right,
evidence
and
anything.
none of those witnesses that were named even know what the fuck they're talking about. So it's just
it's a joke.
I don't
it's information
understand.
warfare.
It is.
It really is war. Like it's a different style of warfare. People have a hard time understanding when I talk about information warfare because people are so used to traditional warfare, missiles, guns kill big bombs and shit like that. No, in today's day of information, the day,
Yeah.
today's age where information everybody can get anything anytime they want off of these things. What's more dangerous, bombs or misinformation? Misinformation, because that could spread like wildfire.
Right.
Like
and
with
like
George
you
Floyd. Yeah.
like you said, our country is so equipped with all these military I don't know, contraptions.
That we can never be destroyed.
We can't, yeah, nobody can destroy us other than ourselves.
Yep.
It's actually a genius.
It is. No, it's 100%. When I found out that Antifa was at the Capitol, I said respect is given where respect is due, because that is genius. To hijack the Capitol, right? The peaceful protest that was at first, then to hijack it to push for chaos and violence,
Yeah,
right? So that the
people
media,
who are already pissed off and angry,
yeah, exactly. So that
like
the media,
perfect,
exactly. So then the media, who is perfectly set up and perfectly there for everything,
oh sick, yeah, they're falling for
exactly. We fell for it, right? But that's where this is me theorizing and speculating where.
We didn't fall for it because we didn't do anything illegal.
Yeah, we didn't do anything, but Trump supporters that were there.
Yeah, some of them really did get hijacked by Antifa to commit violence, to be cops, to drag them out, to kill. Like what?
Yeah, it's
and what happens then? The whole message is lost. The message was keep our politicians, from committing fraud, for we the people, listening to us, and when people were chanting, "This is our house,"
whose house? Our house.
It really is. It's the people's house. It doesn't mean we're storming it, but people really like that shit, who were angry, who traveled from freaking California and Wisconsin and like everywhere
to be there.
Yeah. And then, so my experience, I never even got into it, but like, I was just, like basically what you said, minding my own business. And I think it was CS gas, but like I brought my dog with me, like as you met her. I was just like, yeah, sure, like we're at the Capitol, this is fun. Like I like rallies because I want to hear people, I want to be there, I want to understand people, why do they care so much. I've never seen a movement like this in my lifetime.
That's what I'm saying. Being a part of it too is,
and I wanted to understand why people were gung-ho Trump supporters. I love Trump as a president. I think he's a great president. I think a lot of people have been hijacked with their hate in their own hearts. Most of them are atheists, and they all think that Trump's this bad guy. And at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, and nobody can say they can do a better job, because that president did so much in 4 years. There's a list. It's like 400 things.
He's done a lot.
So much stuff. I've named some of them. It's up to you to do your own research. And if you don't, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Oh, and you were talking about sex trafficking too before. If you do the statistics on sex trafficking, the Obama second administration had the highest rates. We literally had a pandemic of that. Trump cleaned that up.
He signed 7 executive orders against human trafficking.
And Trump even had an executive order for Native Americans.
Oh yeah, to help find missing Native Americans.
People
it's
people just hate him. It's like, bro, you hate yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You
A lot of
literally
people,
hate yourself because you're putting so much energy into hating someone you know nothing about. Like somebody on the TV told you he's a bad guy and you listen to it all day long. You're the fucking loser.
Operation What. So again, this is where I'm gonna
Yeah.
disagree with what you're saying. I don't want to
Okay.
call people losers or anything because again,
All right.
it's not their
No,
fault.
you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's not their
And
fault for being
I apologize. I
brainwashed.
don't want to come off as negative, and I'm working on myself.
Yeah, exactly. We all
We
are.
all
Yeah.
are, and then you slip sometimes. But the thing is, like, when it's so easy to respond like that when all you've received was
Is
hate,
negative
hate,
energy.
hate,
Yep.
hate, hate for your opinion, expressing your opinion. But God forbid I say something else, I'm immediately attacked.
Yep. I know.
Immediately
Yeah,
attacked.
I know.
So when I call people losers, it's, I guess, a defense mechanism of like, I've had enough. I've had enough. And I'm going to speak my mind, and no
Mhm.
one's going to shut me up. Um, Speaking of shutting me up, my ex-husband literally has a folder on his desktop that says how to shut down the Bad Mom blog. Like my kids told me about it. Yeah, someone cares that much to cancel me. He started a file on his computer for my little tiny podcast where I just talk to whoever I want to, who people who've been victims of canceling. Now,
Cancel culture.
I support victims of abuse. That's really what I do. But it seems like abuse is all over and
Yeah.
in various forms. And like, that's why I feel like now I'm just like an open platform for anything you want to discuss. So, what kind of abuse have you tolerated as a Trumpster?
Dude, I mean, where do you want to start? I mean, right off the bat, starting, especially when I became more and more vocal with my page, right? I would always have people messaging me. I surprisingly, I always told this to people, 7 or 8 out of 10 people who would like message me in my DMs, especially regarding politics, would agree with my messages of unity and love and peace and stuff. There's only the few of the people that would message me being like, "Oh, I'm reporting you. You're a conspiracy theory dumbass. Trump supporter." Right. My favorite ones is
Reporting.
I would have teenage kids message me talking about that I know nothing about communism and why communism's good, and I had this one kid basically be like, "Oh, I'm so much smarter than you," blah blah blah. And I literally basically gave him a life message. I was like, "All right, dude, listen. If you want somebody to talk to you, right? You first of all, you're not gonna slide up into somebody's DMs calling them a bunch of childish names, right? Right off the bat, I don't take you seriously anymore just because of that. And I'm not gonna talk to you about politics because the way you treat me, right? Literally right off the bat.
Energy.
The energy, exactly. If you want to talk politics and you want to like actually have an intellectual conversation about why you believe communism is good and why I believe it's not, we can. But you're not going to slide into my messaging and be like, you're a fucking retard because of XYZ. I'm just not going to take you seriously. And another thing I've had to tolerate is so I'm okay with all walks of people. You got to understand, if somebody wants to be racist, be racist. I do not care. It is not my life. I don't agree with it, but I do not
It's
care.
not your job to control other
Exactly.
people.
I cannot express that enough of how little
Leftists think it's their job to
yeah,
control other people.
little I care about people and their political views, right?
Right.
I had a group of
It's
friends.
the beauty of
Yeah.
being open-minded.
Exactly. I had a group of friends turn on me this year because I don't agree with transgender people, right? I don't agree on the basis that you could say that you're a different sex than what you're born with, right? And I had one of my friends is apparently trans, right? And he thinks because I disagree with it, I automatically hate him.
Right.
And I'm like, how do you leap from there to there? So you know what he did? I posted a transgender meme on my page.
Oh
it was a fake Twitter poll, right? Talking about, it literally was like, oh, do transgenders' rights matter? It was a video, and then when it went to the answers, it was an overwhelming no. And then the next tweet was like, oh, that poll didn't count. Right? It was a meme
because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was a meme, right? It was a complete meme, and he went into a public group chat and started attacking me based off of that meme, and I was like,
but with you in that chat.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, like, you realize it's a fucking meme. I don't care how you feel about a meme. And he said, he was like, oh, so you don't care about how I feel? I'm like, no, like I don't care about how you feel because you can live your life the way you want,
Yeah.
right?
And I was actually talking about this to my friend. I said, if one of my kids wants to come out and tell me they're gay, I'm going to tell them, all right, I still love you. I don't think that's the right way to live, but doesn't make me a homophobe because I love everyone.
Mhm.
That's just my beliefs. And I'm entitled as a
Exactly.
human being to have one, just like you are, to believe it's good.
Yeah.
So we should be able to just leave it at that. We disagree, but we still can. I'm not going to tell my kid, no, like you're not welcome in my house, because that's extreme.
Yeah.
That's just extreme. That means you're so hateful to not be able to accept anyone who's different than you. Then you become the hypocrite.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it's
can't call yourself a Christian if you're not going to accept other people for who they are. You're a hypocrite.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those. It's a funny situation. And like now, and I found out a few of them were used. So there was one kid that was in a group chat of mine,
Mhm.
and I would always talk about politics in this group chat, right? Because it was me and a bunch of my online friends, and my online friends are a lot of my online friends that are in the meme community are very conservative, right? Because they're not snowflakes and they can handle when people throw hatred at them. And,
Right.
and what happened was apparently they were using this chat to see what I would say, then talk shit about me behind my back. So now I just don't associate with them at all. Right. And then when they ask me, hey, can we come over because we hear you're having a party? I'm gonna be, no. It's plain and simple. No. I've given you guys so much love and
right.
I've allowed them to come over my house every weekend to smoke weed,
how much
party.
How much abuse are you gonna tolerate?
Exactly. And then it's like, but then you're gonna talk shit about me behind my back, call me ignorant because I disagree with one of your politics or worldviews, right? And then you claim that you think you're the good person in this situation.
By doing that?
Yeah. By doing that, no, I don't want to be friends with toxic people. And one of them knows that, right? And I'm pretty sure they definitely know because they don't talk to me anymore. I don't talk to them, right? And I'm okay with that. But I know one day the path is gonna cross when that happens, and I'm gonna be like, no, I don't like you as a person because you treat me poorly.
Right.
Your politics, I don't give a shit about, right? I don't judge you based off your politics.
No.
Your politics mean nothing to me.
It's like judging you off the skin color.
Exactly.
Judging you off your religion, judging you off like your grandpa was a Nazi. That makes you a Nazi.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's dumb shit like
Guilty
that.
by association.
Wait, it's called and then making assumptions, which makes an ass out of you. And
yeah. So basically, I don't talk to them anymore. I definitely lost a lot of friends because of the election this year, obviously, because everybody's so heated. But I have a core group of friends, which I love, and I also have my fraternity brothers. So it's like they know everything about my views, and they don't give a shit. They still think it's hilarious, like where I come from and the fact that I have my views. I do.
That's why I was like, I gotta interview this kid. No one's ever gonna believe me that he exists. Yeah,
it's fucking weird reality. But it's funny. There was a girl I met from my Instagram. Her name is Sarah. She's from Texas. She also has same-sex parents and is a giant Trump supporter as well.
Interesting.
And it was really funny that we started talking. And I was just like, wait. She was like, yeah, I got same-sex parents. I was like, no fucking way.
Well, people will just hate. People will just hate Trump and the Republicans based off hating Pence. And that guy's a straight politician.
He's deep state. He's swamp. I think he's swamp.
Honestly, I hate them all. And the only reason I like Trump is because he's not one of them. I still believe he's not one of them. But like you said, how do you take down how do you take down so much corruption? Where do you start? You don't start at the top. Start at the very bottom. So if you have a problem with politics and what's going on, why don't you run for office? Why don't you call your local government and tell them you're not happy and you want to be heard or something? Like people are like, oh, I'm not getting the vaccine. Well, are you gonna talk to your local government and like tell them, like ask them for the safety of it, like anything? Are you gonna make the effort to contact people who represent you? Nobody's really doing that. I really hope that people are starting to finally pay attention, because that's where the power is. Local government, state government. That's where they're like, Trump didn't do anything about the lockdown. Well, it's the governor.
Yeah, it's your local government.
It's your local governor.
Really think that the lockdowns were Trump too. Oh, that's the funniest part.
Trump killed 400,000 people. No, he
No.
didn't actually.
Yo,
Like,
dude, I
I,
could
c-
go on about the
it
pandemic.
everything that's happened in the last year just makes me want to like kind of pay attention less, because it's just I feel like that America is now some kind of soap opera for the last 4 years, and this is the finale. But
It
like
is. It
the
is a soap opera.
it's
That's a
it's embarrassing.
that's
The
a
whole
great way of
world is
putting it.
laughing at us.
So I mean, yeah, I would argue yes and no. Only no because especially NATO, you had Trump basically, I quite literally bitched the entire NATO out and called them out for not paying their dues and
Yeah,
not doing
I
anything.
think that's brave.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I don't, and definitely a lot of countries love us. Like I know Morocco, like I have one of my brothers, he lives in Morocco and he's talking about how Morocco loves America. You know, Japan that loves America as well because of Trump and North Korea. A lot of
Mhm.
the Israel, Middle East
A
countries.
lot of Russians like Trump too,
Yeah.
because for once Putin is able to speak to America and not sit there cross-legged and angry, with
Yeah.
Obama he did.
Freaking dude, but
He hasn't started a single war.
he hasn't. He's the first president in decades to not do that. You know what's funny
That's
though?
amazing.
So I want to go back to the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I love to trick people with is, how many deaths are there?
We should be dead from going to the rally, right?
Yeah. Do you know how many deaths? How many deaths are there in the United States because of COVID?
Well, they said it reached 400,000 yesterday.
So the CDC a few months back removed 94% of the deaths from their death total because 94% of the people who died with COVID either had 2 to 3 life-threatening illnesses,
Yeah.
which means they were going to die anyway. They either died. Let's say I was in a motorcycle accident and I had COVID, it'd be a COVID death,
Yeah.
right? And then on top of it, 90% of deaths.
This is a fact. Do your own research.
90% of deaths were in nursing homes.
Yep.
And then the fucked up part is when you ask the question, why are there so many deaths in nursing homes? You find out that our governor, Phil Murphy, Cuomo, New York, Wolf of PA, Whitmer of Michigan, all put sick people in nursing homes.
What about Newsom?
And Newsom of California, all put sick people in nursing homes, systematically murdering people and artificially raising the death toll into the thousands, right?
Yep. Because those are the most vulnerable.
Exactly.
We should be protecting them.
Exactly. And the best part, and so then let's say they didn't do that, right? There would be so many less deaths than there were before because tens of thousands of people were murdered because of their ignorance. Yeah, okay, they did that. Yeah, they all did that at the same time together. Like I call so much BS on that. Like people this is one of the best parts that I always point out to people. Another reason why I was censored is you had the World War III scare right in the very beginning. You have coronavirus. You have the impeachment. Oh no! You had the impeachment, then World War III scare in the very beginning. I forget because in 2020. Yeah. And all the shit. And then when he bombed Salamani, and they were like, "Oh, they took out the general." Oh,
when he pushed the button instead of having us lose thousands of troops.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Iran.
Yeah.
Good idea, Trump.
And freaking, you had that. Then you have the coronavirus. You had the race riots. Then you have the election. You had all the other chaos in between with the looting and all this other, all the other fucked up shit. And I sit there and I'm like, and
George Floyd.
I asked these people, I asked my followers, I was like, how can you guys sit there, right, seeing all this chaos, all this craziness, coincidentally lining up on an election year,
right,
and not sit there and think like, this is weird. Why is all this shit happening?
Right.
But then I would get people swiping up being like, yo, you're retarded for even thinking that all these are connected and all these mean anything. And I'm
what happened in 2016?
Exactly. Yeah. BLM. If you go to Google Trends, you type in BLM.
Yep.
2016 and 2020 and nothing else in between.
Right. Because they have nothing to do for 3 years except maybe train. But when they're not even trained. But now we've hijacked our puppets. I'm sorry, our
politicians.
Well, yeah, they're puppets too, but the puppets are really like a Major League Basketball.
Oh yeah,
celebrities. Really,
sports. Hockey. Thank God is the only sport that has not gone down that path.
Oh, thank God for hockey.
Yeah,
we love hockey.
We do love hockey.
I love hockey.
Thank God. I'm so happy because I would have turned it off. But I said before that at the beginning of the Devils game, you had Phil Murphy come onto the loudspeaker and be like, oh, we need a moment of silence for the police officer who died because of the insurrectionist on the Capitol Hill last week. And I sat there and I was like, you're such a disingenuous piece of shit. Dude, you're gonna say something now But then when 700 police officers were casualties because of the BLM riots and Antifa riots, nothing. But because it's Trump supporters now, it's like, oh yeah, we need a moment of silence for him. It's
What about
so
the
disingenuous.
14-year Air Force
That
veteran,
was
Ashley
shot.
Babbitt?
Yeah, silence. Doesn't matter because it doesn't go with narrative. So people they won't hear about it, and that's why I always have to follow independent
Just an
journalists.
innocent woman was murdered
Mhm.
literally inside. And yeah, I do want to go back to that. I didn't realize it was violent until I started coughing, and I didn't even I wasn't there to storm the Capitol. I was there just as a peaceful protester, Trump supporter. So to me it was really weird. I feel like, really sad for our nation, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. And it's been like 2 weeks I haven't been able to talk about it because I'm just that deeply saddened for our society. I don't want to get all emotional, but it should make you emotional. What's happening is really messed up, and we haven't seen anything like it. Especially, like, we haven't seen anything like it. How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. Okay, I'm 31. So, I saw the Twin Towers, hit when I was in 6th grade. I watched it happen. And then, as a military wife, I watched all these soldiers come home in caskets over the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. Like, it was, I that's why I joined the military. A lot of people really love this country, and that's really what we should be bonding over. We should be bonding over that. So at the rally, that's what I felt. I felt that we were bonding. But when I got so close to the Capitol, like I was on the steps, like under the roster thing that people were on top of, like those were the people I was like, who are these people? Like they were weird. Like I was like, push forward where? And then I realized like, oh, we're here. And then I'm like, what is happening? The dog starts coughing, and I'm just like jolly and oblivious blonde chick, like with my dog. And then I'm coughing. I'm like, Minnie, are we all getting corona? What is happening? And like, I was like, let me put my mask on. And like, it was like, get out of here, save your dog. What is happening? Like I was in an adrenaline mood shift to leave because I felt unsafe. And I've never felt unsafe at a Trump rally before. I've never felt unsafe at any rally.
Do that, yeah.
Before.
That was definitely a very exciting time.
I was like, save the dog, and I couldn't go anywhere. I was like against this wall, like, and then I was just like, okay, I really gotta just get out of here. But I do like want to stick around to see what the hell's going on from a distance.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know. Okay, so I left the main steps under the what is that thing called, the whatever.
It was the media tower for
the
inauguration.
That's where the freaking crazy dude with the horns was. He was swinging like a Tarzan
with the
megaphone, screaming, push forward. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And why is he dressed like this?
Did you see the videos that came out from the Senate
floor?
So
he's a Q guy.
Yeah. Did you see the videos that came out on the Senate floor? With him, where he literally was like, he walked in,
and the police were like, yeah, this is really where the most sacred area is.
He was like, please. And the people there, they were like, yeah, we're just here to make sure that nobody fucks with anything, right? And it was crazy because I don't like that, man. Like
that's weird to me.
You gotta know right from wrong, and again, like, I don't want to do guilty by association.
But if you watch the other videos, okay, so that guy must have infiltrated in the front. But I didn't see anything because like I was just I just realized that it was weird. And when I realized we were coughing and we were being attacked for peacefully protesting, like you said, by the police, by the Capitol Police, I wanted to get out of there. I wasn't there for that. And so some people were there to storm the Capitol. Like
some people were definitely there for that.
Some people were there to hurt people. Someone was there to just distract the whole movement and hijack it. And that's exactly what happened. So we moved back, and then like someone asked to borrow my microphone and saying, God bless America. And like, I just saw people coming over the wall because I was 2 walls back. I was like, I'm not going to be up there. I don't want to get shot with anything. I don't want to be trampled. I don't want my dog hurt. I just backed up, and people were saying God bless America, and it was a beautiful thing. At no point in time did I think the Capitol was stormed until I listened to the news
Later,
on
yep.
the way
Yep,
home.
and you realize
I'm
people
like, who the
working.
fuck stormed the Capitol? Because it wasn't any of me and my friends. Like, I couldn't even find my friends. Like I said, I was by myself because they shut off all the phones. They don't want you to
So,
capture what's really
Yep.
going on the scenes. They want you later to scourge the internet and be like, oh my God, look what happened. Oh my God, trigger you, to make you feel some type of way. And then paint everybody, because now we had people who were arrested. All of the only reason they were arrested is their family members.
oh yeah, people are snitching on each
People
other.
are snitching on their own
Yeah.
family
Bro,
members.
that's
It's exactly
wild.
what they want.
Yeah.
And it's in the name of, like,
Divide and conquer.
democracy. But it's like, bro, your election was like
Stolen. Literally
like
stolen. We don't have a
literally.
democracy
And
anymore.
and all you're listening to is still the news and like whatever. Joe Biden, I hope you have a great presidency. I hope you live up to what Trump lived up to.
Yeah, fill his
And I
shoes.
hope that your racist slanders don't slip out, and I hope you don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
basically it. I hope that you don't get taken out so Kampala can be president, or Nancy. Oh my God.
She's third in line, keep in mind.
Bro, Nancy is just like, if I've ever heard someone lie directly to my face, it's been Nancy every time she opens her fucking mouth. Like,
Oh, wow.
every time she opens her mouth, I'm just like, why are you talking?
You know what was BS?
Shut the fuck up.
You know what was BS, speaking of Nancy?
She's such a liar.
There was
Look at your city, Nancy Pelosi. It's
Same.
fucking trash. It's gone. You have no city.
There was a Republican during the impeachment process that was pointing out, the rhetoric from the left of how, they've been literally being like, oh, you got to have unrest in the streets, or them doing it.
Right.
He was quoting Nancy Pelosi.
Yes.
And then the media attacked him saying, oh, look what a Republican was saying. Like, without mentioning that Nancy Pelosi was the one who said it. And it's just like, bro, this is information warfare at its finest. And people who can't, like, this is there's two realities in America right now.
Yeah.
You have the reality that's ours, that we see the bullshit and we see the double standards, we see the hypocrisy, we see the trends of what's going on, and then you have the reality of you're in it. You have no idea that you like the bullshit that's going on around you. You just know whatever the media tells you. And to be fair to those people, like, that's what you were told all your life, is to trust the media,
to watch TV,
trust authority.
Nighttime news. This is what we want you to believe.
Yep.
Like, and I don't know about you, but my grandparents would watch the news on like 7 different networks in every language they knew, just to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I'd never understood. I would complain and be like, Grandpa, really? We just watched the news. We have to watch the news again. Yes, it's on every network. I'm aware we do this every night, and now I know why.
It's important. Yeah. And so
you have to, or you just stay ignorant.
So you want to play a little brain game really quickly?
Sure.
So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
Right? When you picture a conspiracy theorist, what are the images that pop up into your head?
Somebody with a tinfoil hat and, like, I don't know.
You would say laughable, right?
And he's definitely a flat earther.
So then, all right. So then this is where the brain game comes in.
Okay.
Where'd you learn those images from?
I know a flat earther. So I was kind of picturing him wearing a tinfoil hat. Yeah.
But for, people who don't know a flat earther, those images of a conspiracy theorist, they learn from movies. They learn from media. Right? You want to get tripped out really quickly? What are those characters always have in common? They're always the outcasts. They're always the loony people, the laughable characters. And what that does is when people watch these media and watch, I'll give you a good example. That one Adam Sandler movie where the video games came to life or whatever, and they were aliens and they invaded. The loony character that helped solve the day was a crazy conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat, laughable character. And what that does to the human psyche is that trains the human mind to never question the narrative, never be that outcast, because you're seen as that accepted. Exactly. You're seen as that laughable character that people, that people judge and they look at. And the media does that purposely to make us more obedient to what's going on around us.
It's actually true liberation, not
scary.
giving a fuck what other
Oh,
people
it
think
really
about
is.
you. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
it's fine. That's all, like, everything that people say that's negative that comes out of their mouth is kind of like how they kind of feel about themselves. Like, sometimes I do feel like a loser. Some
yeah.
days it's a feeling. I think everyone sometimes feels down, and let's just accept those feelings exist and not just not talk about them, like shove them under the rug. That's what I was trying to do. But like, it's really liberating when you just go down, like you talk to yourself in a way, like, who am I, what do I stand for, what are my values, this is who I am, and nobody's opinion defines who I am. That's why I really wanted to make a podcast, because I felt like I could never talk about the things that were wrong. Like I didn't have an audience other than close family and, like, people on Facebook. Like, nobody wants to talk about this stuff. But 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 if you choose to come listen, here's your outlet. If you choose to want to have a voice, here, come on the podcast, make your own podcast, do something that you feel like will liberate you. And like, I'm about to publish my story, and it's gonna be sold on Amazon. So I'm like really excited. Like, everything since I let God or the universe take control, like, I just feel so liberated. Like, I really want people to feel that way. Yeah, I'm like offering coaching, but not specifically, just sometimes people just need someone to talk to, especially during these weird times. Like,
Yeah.
and you don't know who you're going to inspire. You don't know who you're going to get out of that dark place.
Exactly. No, it's crazy.
And I could easily say, oh, this kid's a fucking weirdo because he's a Q guy. But like, at the same time, it's like, well, what does he know that I don't know? And that's why we have so many disagreements and like arguments and wars, because people stay ignorant. They don't want to talk. They don't want to learn. They don't want to know. They just want to believe what they already believe.
Yeah, it's the Mets versus Yankees.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah, no. If you choose, it's willfully. It's the time period is you're willfully ignorant or you're just lying.
We have access to so much information now. You can easily be your own media outlet. That's why people are going on social media, and it's just a time to be alive. And if you're not doing something to give back to the universe for just who you are, if you're not grateful, if you don't live by like gratitude, if you don't live by being grateful for every experience that you've encountered, like, you'd be ignorant. You'd be ignorant. You'd just be completely just dying. And I feel like a lot of our society is just okay with staying stagnant. What do you think? You think we're kind of screwed? I feel like it comes down to like the education system. Yeah. Like, we're just not really told to like think outside the box. Like, I feel like critical thinking, like, people
dead.
Like,
critical thinking is dead.
It's like ABCD choices, and it's like, well, what about this? No. What about this theory I have?
You're an outcast. You're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, no, it's
too easy.
It comes down again. I said this
School's
before.
too easy here.
School is too. It comes down to this for me personally. It's speculation, right? And it's why either you want to be optimistic or not. And I don't think I said it on the podcast, but strong men create good times create weak men create chaos creates strong men. Unfortunately, we just happen to be the end of the good times into the chaos time period. Yeah. That just happens to be our generation. And I had a speech in last semester in my speech class. I talked about this. I was showing pictures of World War II, World War I, all these wars, the Holocaust. I was like, do you think that these people were saying, oh, how could this ever happen? This is never going to end. Yeah. Of course they were saying that. Like, of course they were feeling despair, lost, sad, depressed, because, right, all this chaos. But it's like
Nazi Germany.
Exactly. But,
not everyone agreed to but then it's too late.
Mm-hmm. But then, exactly. So then when it comes down to it, I think we're going to be leaving this time period sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
I'm still optimistic.
Good.
I really do believe that Trump's going to pull through some way, shape, or form. God knows how. Only God knows how.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate. I talked about the McCarthy stuff earlier,
Yeah.
right? That's a legal way of us to take back the country, right? That's a legal way of doing it, but
Interesting theory.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know what's going to come next.
Is that what Q says is going to happen?
Q is no, so Q again is an
Like,
open source of information,
right.
right?
Oh, so they don't post
They
every
don't
day?
they haven't posted since December. Right,
Whoa.
they'll go black out for like months at a time.
Whoa.
Right, so it's not like they're
Okay.
posting every day saying some shit. A lot of the information that is relevant in today's times,
Mhm.
they've talked about years beforehand. I'll give you an example. Obamagate and
Yeah.
the spying. Yeah, they've been talking about that shit since like day one when they started posting, and Jeffrey Epstein as well. They've
Right.
talked about Epstein of how he's going to be some type of player in the future, and then he ends up getting arrested for human sex trafficking. Billionaire.
Insane.
It's
Yeah.
stuff like it's little things like that.
And I don't know if you've ever like researched that case and how ridiculous it
Dude,
is from a lawyer
It's
standpoint.
disgusting. Oh, not I had no idea from a lawyer standpoint.
Okay.
Nor do I want to know because it's probably the most horrific bullshit that you have to go through.
Well, no,
Or you learn a
it's
lot of
more like
horrific-
it's more like why is this happening? This would never happen to anyone else. The guy didn't actually go to jail. He literally got to just play jail. And like that would never happen to anybody else. And like the FBI had so many yeah, exactly. I'm still not sure about the FBI, but like
Definitely.
somebody said they're gonna report me to the FBI, and I was like, "Cool, bro,
Go for
report
it.
me to the fucking
What are they
FBI."
gonna do? They're gonna knock on my door saying I'm not allowed to have an opinion.
And I've actually like was worried for a minute, and I was like, "Okay, and then what's gonna happen? Like they're gonna say I was at a rally that had a permit that was scheduled to happen. Did I go inside the house, inside the state capitol? No.
No.
Did I get attacked with CS gas by police for peaceful protesting? Yes. And that's literally why I want to talk about it, because my experience was just earth shattering to me and my beliefs. And I don't know if I want to go to another rally. I don't want to be attacked. And there was many rallies after that were canceled because Antifa has been attacking Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Literally finding them and attacking them at rallies.
There was one in San Francisco. I saw the videos.
In Albany, New York, the Proud Boy that I interviewed on my podcast last episode, the first episode of season 2, he was stabbed during an encounter of Antifa or Black Lives Matter. I'm not really sure. I feel like it was Antifa because
Black Bloc.
I'm not really sure, but he said it was Antifa. So, and there's a video and I'll show it to you later. Yeah. So like he said they were just talking for 3 hours, almost trying to have a conversation with this guy and ended up stabbing him, but he's fine. He was stabbed, but he's like, I was like, well, were you wearing your gear? Cause when I went to the rally last time, they were all protecting us because Antifa was literally attacking people, women, children,
and
walking, old people. They were the Proud Boy got pepper sprayed coming out of the hotel. So it like, and see, I don't know about the Proud Boys. Like I'm just open-minded. So that's why I want to interview all these different people and what they believe, because I feel like we don't have that voice anymore. So if my podcast gets shut down for this, like, okay, whatever, bro. I had a voice and I feel great.
Yeah. So
we don't have that anymore.
So December 12th, Stop the Steal.
Yeah.
I went to that rally.
Okay.
And
I went there too.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Oh, so you understood how they were literally everywhere. Proud Boys was everywhere.
Yeah.
So when they marched from Freedom Plaza to the base of the Washington Capitol, or not the oh god, what is it called
on the
again?
long
yeah
road? Is that Freedom Plaza?
Yeah. So
from the actual rally that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and my friend were literally walking with them, right? I was so
yeah, me too.
Oh, that's funny.
That's how I met them.
That's funny.
Because one of them was from New Jersey, the other one was from New York, and like what happens in New York happens in New Jersey.
Yes.
So we support New York. We go to Albany, you know.
So what's funny about it is I wasn't, when my boy, I'm not gonna say his name, but he signed up to be a Proud Boy afterwards, and he despises Antifa, and he definitely lives more of a 3D world, meaning like he definitely feels more of the hatred emotions and like the anger emotions and whatever. And that's all cool and whatever, right? Because it's not me,
Mhm.
right? But then I finally could be able to understand the Proud Boys. I support the Proud Boys and I like the Proud Boys because they're here to protect us, and I am with that. But when you're going out of your way to chant through the streets, fuck Antifa, fuck Joe Biden, and all this shit to antagonize a fight from Antifa, you are no better than them.
True.
Right. And when you say, fuck Antifa, fuck them, and they say fuck Trump supporters, fuck you are no better than them. And that's why I try to get my friend where it's like, yeah.
No, you're right. You're actually shifting my mindset
Yeah.
right now, because I have said fuck Antifa and I still say fuck Antifa. Why? Because I'm mad at them.
Yeah, no, they
So
were scumbags, but yeah.
I gotta shift, but like I don't tolerate violence from either side.
No. It's one of those things where it's just like,
It's like fuck the people that got out of control at the Capitol,
Mhm.
and fuck Antifa for even being there and instigating the whole fucking thing. You know?
and just attacking Trump supporters in general.
Attacking Trump supporters for months now.
For years.
For years?
Literally years. They've been around for a
I didn't
while.
know
So
Antifa
they've
was
actually
out for-
so technically they've been around since
2016.
2012.
20. Oh,
But
I thought BLM was around since then.
No. So
Oh,
they were
BLM was in 2016.
Yeah. Antifa was around not as the group as they are today, but they were during the what happened on Wall Street again? Occupy
Wall Street.
They were there. That's where they originally made their name.
Interesting.
And then what happened is over, the next few years, they probably got big money from Soros and a bunch of other people, and that radicalized them, and that made them to where they are today. And they've been slowly becoming more and more prevalent. And then 2020, they've definitely peaked with the antagonizing most of the violence and the riots throughout the summer.
That sucks.
Yeah. But I mean, again, and then you know who Andy Ngo is? He's a conservative. I don't want to say I don't know if he's gay or not, but something's telling me that he is, but it doesn't matter.
Andrew
Ngo, NGO. He's an Asian conservative reporter, and he's been following Antifa for years, and he got, I think, a brain hemorrhage from them. There's footage of him trying to walk away, and they're like throwing, they're milkshaking him, hitting him with like shit in his head, and all this other stuff. And then like you have people that are like, oh yeah, Antifa's not real. And even if they are, do you see what their name stands for? Anti-fascist. And I'm like, okay, perception isn't reality. Like, right, you understand that?
Like Black Lives Matter, but only when it's convenient.
Exactly. Well, it's like, that's another thing.
David Dorn was a police officer that was murdered during these riots.
Was he the black chief?
The black chief of police, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So freaking, that's another thing that got me censored, is I pointed out like the hypocrisy of like, okay, so you care about when black people are killed by white people, but then black on black crime, see no evil, abortion, see no evil, and all the other horrible shit, see no evil, because it's like we weren't told to react.
A black woman in New York City has a higher chance of going to get an abortion than going out.
Yeah, it's fucked
to
up.
Just do anything else.
I had so many people. I have I've leftist friends as well. Like, even though we all disagree like with our views.
Well, that's good.
We still treat each other with respect at the end of the day.
That gives
he swiped up on this message and told me that I hope I lose followers when I pointed out that the black community's population has plateaued since Roe v. Wade. And he was like, I hope you lose followers. And I was like, imagine supporting killing more black babies. And he was like, no, I don't. I was like, then why would you even say that? And he was like, I was like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. It is really sad. Like, abortion is sad.
Abortion's horrible. There was 42 million abortions last year alone in the world. That's an entire generation gone. There's been so many generations gone. In America, just not even existing.
Interesting.
Because of abortion. It's so fucked up. Like, when you look at the numbers from abortion here in the States, it's infanticide. I genuinely think it's satanic, and I think it's for some fucked up reason, because you had the abortionists that got caught. No, you had Planned Parenthood. I forgot about this last year, or I think 2019. And they came out in court admitting that they trafficked beating baby hearts. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. And then you stand there, and people stand there, and they say, oh, I support abortion. How the fuck morally can you say like, yeah, I'm with this, when you know what they're doing and you know how they're
well, that's the fucking weird part of like my body, my choice, and the hypocrisy behind that. It's only like and the whole mask thing. Well, I'm a healthy individual. Why do I have to wear a mask?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. And it's
like
like,
if you're sick, you wear a mask.
yeah, it's
If
like,
you're sick, stay home.
exactly.
Like, why are you forcing other people to do things? Because they think that we're dumb.
They think we're stupid.
We're just gonna keep. Well, the thing is, like, we're also just trying to live our lives.
Yeah.
We're just really just trying to work and, provide.
I want my liberty.
Yeah, that's all. That's all everybody
All it
wants.
is.
That's why people don't have time to pay attention to this stuff. They're working. They're supporting their families. They're busy.
We could also get into topics of the central bank as well if you want. Federal Reserve. Do you know how that works?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that right now. No, the thing is, there's so many places we could go with all this. Where I do want to wrap it up because like this is an ongoing conversation we got to keep having. So if anybody else wants to challenge my views, my beliefs, or challenge anything that I've said, I would love to have that discussion. We don't have enough of that. But yeah, but my purpose is to educate and inspire, and I really hope that just having the conversation, whether you agree with it or not, it causes you to do some research and just figure things out and have your own understanding of things. If you're not understanding, then you're basically programmed. You're programmed, and I'm not saying that in a way. It's just like, yeah, like this is what we stare at all day long. This is what we stare at all day long.
The black mirrors.
Yeah, and like who's behind that mirror?
Got some Orwellian times in our hands, man.
Right. If anybody just reads 1984,
1984.
Please read 1984.
Scary.
Again?
I had to put
Read
it down.
Again.
It scared me. It genuinely
I have it on
out.
audiobook. I had to turn it off for a little bit.
It's freaky. it's too much in today's times, and that's what scares me. And that's what got me thinking. Orwell probably was some type of I don't want to say like a sleeper or something like that, but he definitely had some information, something. He had to be some player involved, and he was like, yo, I gotta write about this.
Maybe he was part of some secret society. I didn't really do any and that's not a conspiracy. Secret societies are facts.
It's a real thing. It's fucking scary, bro. Like
and it goes back to what you wanted to talk about with the money and the banking. Well, it's just rich people don't want people who aren't rich to get rich
or heal.
They think it's generational.
They want to keep us sick. They want to keep us weak and hurting and divided. And there's so much technology that they most definitely have that could come out like that and heal the world in a day. But they don't want it because money. Yep. And destruction of a country because, New World Order, which is scary too. The New World, NWO, New World Order, that stuff.
I did some research on that. I'm still optimistic, but I'm not like, I just listened to the Who talking, and then I have been following politics for a little bit, and it seems to be, it's weird how there's a patent for things that there shouldn't be a patent for.
Oh yeah, no, there is not. I forgot about
like
that. Yeah.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. There's a patent on viruses.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Coronavirus has its own patent, and what's funny as well is like they finally confirmed it that scientists in Wuhan actually were sick from the very beginning with it. Right? They finally confirmed that it came from a lab, which is so funny because it's like. When I would point that out to people, I would have so many people attack me because of it, and it's like,
well, they had a whistleblower on Fox News. I watched that interview. I don't really watch the news, but yeah, that was something. It's like, yeah, I gotta watch what this whistleblower wants to say. The whistleblowers are the ones who are the most
true heroes.
True heroes.
Project Veritas?
At risk. Oh yeah, Project Veritas guy. How do you completely deny this guy? When he has video evidence of your peeps saying things did you hear what the guy from PBS said?
The lawyer, was he talking about throwing Molotovs at the White House? That guy?
Yes.
And then Jack Dorsey saying like, oh yeah, we have plans for more than just Trump's account. And then you have the lawyer that came out again that's doubled down on
putting re-education camps.
Yeah, re-education camps.
What the fuck is a re-education camp? I'm
it's
sorry.
for your safety.
I think we already had those. Remember when we put all the Asians
The Asians and Jews
and yeah,
yeah,
but call them whatever you want. There's a lot of
it's no
theories
evil.
as to like
No evil.
these things, and I feel like, you could just stay ignorant, or you could just kind of, I don't know, figure it out.
Let the lambs be led to their slaughter. Let the wolves. And you know what's funny is like there's a third party rising up as well. Because I know you said you don't. I'm not a Republican either, or conservative.
Yeah, the MAGA party
The Patriot
or
Party.
Patriot Party.
And the Lions.
I just want to be called Americans. Can we just be called Americans? One day, I'm optimistic that we'll come together. I'm optimistic, but you can't be calling people conspiracy theorists just for thinking outside the box.
Mhm.
You can, but it's not getting us anywhere. It's just shutting out the conversation, which is what we need to have, whether you agree or not. I respect your opinion. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate being able to have a voice.
Right, since your social media was shut down. Well, we'll see how Spotify reacts, but it's only when you're relevant that they cancel you. So you were definitely relevant. That's what one of my mentors told me.
Yeah, you only get censored if you're doing something right. Like, think about that. Because after I got censored, that's when I was like, okay, I'm right then. Because why? Like, again, it's one of those things where it's like, why do you have to censor people? Why do you have to? Twitter closed out over 70,000 QAnon accounts. It's like, why are you trying to get people to not look at it? It's one of those things where it's like, you're exposing yourself by censoring people.
Well,
more and more and more. It's stupid. It's like, let people think for themselves.
Is it NATO or I forget, but they had a giant meeting, and I remember watching not an interview, just a video of Mark Zuckerberg, and I think it was the United Nations. By the way, I wanted to work for the United Nations. That was one of my goals and my dreams. I really aspired to that. Yeah, they were literally talking about how they want to invest in the misinformation, and they already labeled it misinformation. It's like, but like, how can we get anywhere with science if we don't have science and doctors debating things, debating cures? Why are we banning hydroxychloroquine when it's been easily accessible since forever?
Since the 60s. Yeah. Like, it's like, what? Okay, now we got
it's dangerous, guys.
So Trump says it, we got to ban it.
Trump said it's bad. Yeah. So it's just silly. Like, it's so old, and I'm just so tired. I just want people to get along, and like, don't be sad. The world is a sad place, but we got to find happiness and find
dark to light.
Yeah, we have to just keep, our energy high, and just love one another. And I mean, I even pray for my enemies.
Oh yeah, you got it,
because I know what my purpose is, and I know that I'm safe. Whether I'm safe from whoever, I do have the universe, I do have God. So I hope that people do find that through meditation, through spirituality. Don't be afraid of God, the word God, the universe, and everything. Like, actually do some inner soul searching and heal yourself. Find that love, and like, get that hate out of your heart. If you hate Trump, it's you really hate yourself. So just maybe do some inner work, and it's not Trump's fault that your grandma's dead. It's the governor. Like, just things happened that were really messed up in 2020. We have to move forward. We have to get out of that funk. We have to find meaning to life. We have to be vigilant. We have to be positive. So I just want to end it on that note. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, share. If you want to challenge what I'm saying, if you hate me, shoot me an email. It's fine. Like, the Bad Mom Podcast at gmail.com. You could also reach out to me on Instagram. And I'd love to have more conversations with people who have different opinions than me, who, want to challenge me. Bring it on. Let's talk about it. But you have to be peaceful. You have to be open-minded. And that's all I ask. So, Will, any final words?
Show love to everybody. Even if you hate those who hate you, you are no better than them. The meaning of where we go one, we go all is definitely heartfelt. and I
Oh,
believe
your
it.
breath stinks.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been fun. I'd be down to do another one in the future. Oh, cutie.
I'm gonna take a pic of you guys.
What a cutie. Hi.
Oh.
Nice. What a cutie.
Oh, Minnie, you're such a good girl.
Oh, and
And your social media is
yeah, you guys can follow me at Will's Meme Machine if you all want. My other page was cursed_imaged, and that got deleted at 82,000 on October 2nd, 2020. And very unfortunate, but it just means that I was right. So they wouldn't send, you don't attack those who aren't a threat to you. So that's the way I see it.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
Everybody, I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you choose to love instead of to hate. And I hope you reach out to me if you need anyone to talk to. Thank you.